Welcome! We are going to go over setting guest expectations today. And let's face it, the check-in is the most nerve-wracking for the guest. They're in a strange place, they don't know where they are, they're at a new house, maybe a new city, maybe they're traveling with new people. This is where you want to set them at ease, and it sets the table for the whole rest of their stay. So let's go over some of those key elements just on check-in.
Okay, so we're firm believers that we are not hotels, right? And that's what makes us special as short-term rentals. But it's even more important that we set expectations because the expectations aren't as cookie cutter as they can be with hotel places. So let's start with parking. For some people, it might be assumed, well, of course there's parking. But what if there's not? There's no valet. What if you're in a more metro area and there's actually only street parking, but you're in a great location, so it's worth it to you to offer your place up as a short-term rental? So be very clear about parking, what to expect. Is it covered? Is it uncovered? Is it off-street? Is it on-street? Is it paid? Is it not paid? A lot of the OTAs will walk you through thinking about those things, but this is what we always say too, get a friend, a truth-telling friend to stay and have them like figure out the parking situation from your check-in instructions and all that. But before a guest even gets your check-in instructions, your listing should dial in what they should expect during the check-in process. So parking is number one. Get very, very specific about that. Okay, number two is finding the place. Is it easy to find? Is there an address marker that is clear to see? If there's multiple doors like we have here, do they know which door is theirs? Are you leveraging photos to make that super clear when they arrive?
And is there lighting at night? Please be aware too, guests are going to check in at all different times, all different lightings, all different seasons too. So be aware of that.
Okay, how about accessibility? And we don't mean, being ADA accessible, but you should let them know how do they check in? How many stairs is it going to take them to get into your property? If you answer those questions in your listing, then you have less people asking you these questions when they're deliberating between your property and someone else's. Some people may not mind these stairs, right? But we need to let them know that they're here so it's not a surprise when they arrive.
And there is a difference. Look, if they're looking at this photo, there might be 14 stairs here, but on the first floor, there's only 3. So someone might be able to handle the 3 stairs on the first floor, but not the 14.
Right.
All right, dun dun dun. This is the most nerve-wracking part of check-in, I'd say, for the guest and the host, making sure that their door code is going to work. And this is safety tip. We're going to say it over and over again. If you are not changing your locks on every guest, you need to start doing that today. That is a huge, huge safety issue.
Even if it's never happened in your 1-2 years, when it does happen, what's going to be, your response then? So don't play around with that.
Yeah, just got to change those locks every time. So a couple of things. Number one, we like this door because the guests can, they can obviously lock the screen door once they've already entered, but we keep this unlocked while they're not checked in. Sarah, you want to go on to the actual lock?
Yeah. So, number one, I'll tell you an improvement that we are going to make. I actually have them. We're going to be repainting all these doors, and so I haven't installed it yet. But having a backup key, you can install it into your door jamb. It's in a lockbox. I like the lockbox where you press the buttons and you don't scroll the numbers, because if you scroll the numbers, you can sometimes leave the code exposed to someone. So, but you can totally install that here. That way, if they're like, "That's not working, it's dead," I don't know. The key is right there. And let's talk about the key. We have a smart lock that has a key backup in it, which I really like that, you guys. I've been there where the lock in the app does not tell me the lock is about to die. I had no idea. It's Christmas Eve. My guest is in their boxers. This is a true story. And I had to bring the key with me from, my home, my office, to him. It wasn't pretty. So make sure there's a backup key right there. And then be very specific in your check-in instructions. Press the AL button, enter the 6 digits we send you, followed by the check mark, right? Don't assume they know how to wake up a lock. We think it's like the second nature situation, but remember, our guests are in vacation mode. They've never been to your property. Don't assume they use smart locks. Be as descriptive as possible.
When setting your guest expectations, you always want to have that guest avatar in mind. Where we are right now, the avatar is either 1 or 2 people. This is a small place. We're not letting groups of people stay here. So everything, all the amenities, all the expectations, we're going to guide it to that traveler.
Well, and you have to match the traveler and the location to the actual building where you're at. So this space, while it's not newly renovated, it's super clean, well decorated, and it serves what is probably going to be our ideal avatar, which is they're here, visiting family, or they're here for
business. A lot of business travelers.
Yeah.
So there's enough room in the kitchen that if they want to buy some groceries, they have it. We have the, obviously coffee and the microwave, but as you can see in this kitchen,
it's small in here.
They're not going to be cooking a full meal and having everybody sit down.
But we don't assume that they know that and see that. So in our listing description, we say, this is not a fully stocked kitchen. This is a great kitchen space if you want to reheat a meal or, heat up some soup. It's a kitchen that'll get you by.
Right, because as you can
This is
tell,
not a chef's kitchen, right?
you might not have that much countertop space, but for me, I'm cool because when I get my DoorDash, I can unfold it right
you can
there.
heat it up right in there. But we think that we have to you don't want to oversell and underdeliver. We want them to come into space, know exactly what we're offering them, and say, oh my gosh, this is so cute. All right, moving on to the living room.
As you can see in this living room, it's very quaint, but there's only, 1, 2, I'd say 3 places to sit, but that was intentional too. If there's 2 guests here, they can both sit on the couch, or one of them can sit on the couch, the other one can sit in the chair. But again, we got to use the space that we have for them, and it's very nice, but you're not going to have, 4 or 5 people over here. You're probably not going to have a dinner party.
No.
And so just being upfront, being very clear on when we take the photos, letting them see the area. It's kind of self-explanatory.
But again, the thing that they may not think about when they're looking at our space, and I do want to point out, is, okay, while I have a small space for you, you better believe that sofa is a good quality sofa. That is comfortable.
Yes.
That recliner is true leather, super, super, super comfortable. It's a small space, right? So your dresser, places to store your stuff, it's out here, just so you know, future guests. You can store your stuff here. You could stay here for a week-long business trip, or if you're here visiting your kiddos in college.
Yeah, for sure.
We actually had a guest here stay for quite a long time, so during COVID. But setting expectations in your living space, too, is super important. Big, awesome, luxurious space, or small, quaint, more economical stay option. No matter what you have, how can you wow guests? And for us, we always like to leave what we call the forgot something basket. And I have been talking about it for years because I've done it since day one, back in 2010. And hairspray, lotion, spray deodorant, toothbrush, toothpaste, things that you can often forget when you're traveling. There's no front desk for them to go and ask the front desk agent who wants to go to a pharmacy right when they arrive. Doesn't cost us a lot. The stuff lasts forever, and we get reviews, positive 5-star reviews about how thoughtful this is. Annette, how about this bathroom?
I'm going to piggyback off what Sarah said. Even though this is a smaller, more economical space, we are giving them everything that they need. We've got the cotton balls, we've got the Q-tips, we've got the hand soap, shampoo and conditioner, and this bathroom is super duper clean. And the other thing, we've got plenty of hooks for them.
All the hooks.
Got to make sure you have the hooks. Even if it's 1 or 2 guests, you don't want wet towels on the floor.
We've got higher end shampoos, conditioners. Where we can level up, we do.
Absolutely.
All right, thinking again about our avatar. Who we're going to host here? What do they care about, Annette, in their bedroom?
Number 1, that's what they're paying all the money for, to spend the night in a nice, comfy bed with amazing linens, multiple choice of pillows, some soft, some firm, blackout curtains so they can sleep in late if they need to.
Going back to the bed, though, really quick. So if you haven't hosted yet, I'll tell you what people care about. They want to know whether it's spring, whether it's foam, or whether it's a gel hybrid mattress. So understand what kind of mattress you have. If you can tell them the brand and the makeup, especially those choosy guests, they're going to appreciate that.
Another thing that you will get questions about is about feathers.
Oh, yeah.
Feathers in your comforter, feathers in your pillow. There are people that are extremely allergic to down. So we just want you to know that ahead of time. So be prepared to have either no down or options.
Yeah.
But you will get that question.
Yeah, the blackout curtains, that was a great point to make. And we put these living room, bedroom, all over the place because guests love it.
Why not?
And telling them, set that expectation, hey, though, if you're checking out on a Saturday or Sunday, feel free to sleep in because we've got these blackout curtains. And then, closet space. Can they hang up their suits? Can they hang up their dresses?
We have a little work area in here. They can also get ready here. And you can't not have a full-length mirror so they can check themselves.
So, again, your pictures tell the whole story, but make sure you're what would my guests really care to know about? And checking themselves out before they go to work in the morning, knowing they can hang up their suit, knowing that you don't have any down pillows, they can sleep with comfort, and knowing that there is a desk space, but it's kind of small and it's in the bedroom. So is that okay with you while your travel partners may be watching TV? Is that ideal? And if it's not, at least they can make that decision for themselves.
We want you to know and feel comforted that you are not going to know the way that your guests are going to interact with your space until you open your home for business. So please be aware, you're going to have to make some changes to your listing. You're going to make some tweaks. You might have to, make some tweaks not only to the space but to the listing. But this is great news because that means you have visitors and you're making money. So let's talk about this specific property. This property is shared. It's a fourplex, so there are 4 units under one roof. So one of the things that happened after it opened is these are older hardwood floors. The upstairs guest, if there's a guest, underneath, they can hear that, and even the guest
themselves are walking and they're like,
they're not used to that.
Or the doors creak when they open, and so back to your point of
we call it charm.
We call it charm. And actually that's what our listing says. It's like, hey, this build's 1940, the floors are original, the doors squeak, the floors creak. We call that charm. But I wanted to say to you, so knowing your avatar is great, right? And having preconceived notions of your avatar is great. But honestly, it's when they leave those like private reviews or they message you like little clues, like take all those in and say thank you. And then make your listing more, if you can't fix it or adjust it, that's when you put that in your listing and say, hey, this is inevitable. The doors are going to creak. I'm not going to reframe.
And honesty is the best policy. Yeah. There's kind of a rule of thumb of like, for all the amazing things that you say about your property, you should have at least 3 of those like hard truths in there about it that are going to be there. They'll be so much more thankful for you. And here's the deal. What Sarah just said, it's hard sometimes to get those reviews or people, maybe critiquing your space, but please welcome all of those. It will make you a better host for all the guests in the future.
Yeah. A couple other things we should mention that we set expectations for this particular property is we do have washers and dryers, but they're in the basement and
shared,
and they're coin operated. So what kind of coins, how much is each load, and but we do supply like the detergents and dryer sheets, so we can let the guests know that. Like while you need to bring quarters, rest assured that the soaps are there and what have you. So we said at the beginning of this video, I think, and we'll say it again, if you can have a friend come stay, not a friend who's gonna like pat you on the back, a truth-telling friend who's gonna be super honest with you and say, just pack your bag, don't ask me any questions, here's how you get in, stay the night, I want you to cook a meal, I want you to do some laundry, I want you to use everything, and have them take notes of things that like stuck out to them, and it'll help you build your listing before you welcome those paying guests.